All right, here in this video, we're going to be talking about mean or average. So if you've ever taken a statistics class or even had a statistics unit in one of your math classes, you've probably learned about mean and average. They're two words that actually mean the exact same thing. So they can be used interchangeably. You'll find that some questions will ask you to find the mean. Some questions may ask you to find the average. They both mean the exact same thing. So let's take a look at some examples on how we compute the mean or the average. In number one, we're given that a group of 5 friends are discussing how well they did on their recent math test. Their scores are as follows, and we want to find the average score. So anytime we find an average, what we're doing is we're just adding all the data values together and then dividing by the number of data values, right? So in this case, the number of data values is 5 because there's 5 friends. So we're going to add those numbers together and then divide by 5. So we have that the average is equal to 80 plus 82 plus 86 plus 91 plus 98, all divided by 5. So now we're going to do some scratch work off to the side to add those 5 numbers together. 80, 82, 86, 91, and 98. So we're going to add those together. A trick that I like to do is I like to find numbers that add to 10. So for instance, we have 2 and 8. Those add to 10. And then the remaining numbers we have are 6 and 1. Those add to 7. 10 plus 7 is 17. And then obviously the 0 isn't going to add anything to that. So we have 17. Right, and then adding these numbers here, again, looking for a pair that adds a 10. We have the 9 and the 1 gives us a 10. If we add 3 8s together, 3 times 8 is 24. So we have 24 plus 10 is 34. And then if we add 9 to that, that becomes 43. So we have 437, and that is divided by 5. So again, let's do some scratch work here. 437 divided by 5. 5 goes into 43. 8 times 5 is 40. Subtract, we get 3. Bring down the 7. 5 goes into 37 7 times. 7 times 5 is 35. Subtract, we get a remainder of 2. Now, instead of keeping this as a remainder, what we want to do is we want to get a decimal answer. So we're going to add a 0 after the decimal. And when we bring that down, we get 20. 5 goes into 20 4 times. 4 times 5 is 20. And since there's no remainder, we can stop there. So our final answer here is 87.4. Right, so in other words, the average score among all 5 friends is 87.4. Let's look at another example. So for example 2 here, we're looking at an insurance company, and the mean number of sick days for their employees is 3.5. There are 10 total employees in the office. Of those 10, 3 took no sick days, 2 took 1 sick day, 1 took 2 sick days, 1 person took 3 sick days, 1 took 9, 1 took 12, and we don't know how many sick days the 10th person took, and that's what we're trying to find. So because we have this unknown value here, what we're going to do is we're going to use a variable, and we're going to set up an equation so that we can solve for that variable. And that variable is going to represent the number of sick days that the 10th person took. So we're going to choose the variable x. We're going to let x be the number of sick days for the 10th person. All right, so now we're going to set up an equation to find the mean. So we know to find the mean, we're adding all the data values together and dividing by the total number of data values. So let's start by adding all the data values together. So it says that 3 people took no sick days. So that means that we can add 3 zeros when we're calculating our mean. 2 people took 1 sick day. So we're going to add 2 ones. 1 person took 2. So we're going to add 1 2. 1 person took 3. So we're going to add 1 3. 1 person took 9. So we're going to add 1 9. And then 1 person took 12. So we're going to add 1 12. So those are the first 9 people, right? We know how many sick days they took. We now need to add in the 10th person. And since we don't know the 10th person and we have the variable x to represent that, we're going to add x for the 10th person, right? And then again, we need to divide by the total number of people. Well, that would be 10. So that's all divided by 10. And we know that that is equal to 3.5, right? We're given that 3.5 is the mean. So we're going to set that entire expression equal to 3.5. The next thing we can do is we have this expression with all these numbers added together. So what we can do is we can start by adding these numbers together. Right? The zeros are easy because when you add zeros together, they don't add to anything. So we can pretty much just ignore those. Right? The 1, the 2, and the 3, those are going to add to 7. So we have 7 plus 9 is 16. And then plus 12 is going to be 28. So we have 28 plus x over 10, and that equals 3.5. The next thing we can do is we want to get rid of this divided by 10. So we're going to multiply both sides of the equation by 10. And so that is going to get rid of the divided by 10 on the left side of the equation and leave us with 28 plus x. 3.5 times 10 becomes 35. The very last thing we need to do to solve for x is subtract 28 from both sides. So 35 minus 28. Maybe you can do that in your head, maybe not. You might need to do some side work off to the side, but you should get that that equals 7. Right, so what does this mean? This means that the number of days that the 10th person took is 7. So writing that all out, the 10th person took 7 sick days.